Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to today's show. Welcome guys. Got a really interesting show today. I want to talk about Keanu Reeves. You know, a lot of people don't talk about him in the media, and his name isn't really mentioned around Hollywood so much. You know, everybody's like, you know, they know him. You know, the name isn't really, you know, a stranger in Hollywood. You know, his name is known in Hollywood. You know, he's been in a lot of, you know, different movies for his roles in The Matrix and others. But a lot of people don't really know who this guy really is. You know, he's not your, you know, your everyday, you know, celebrity winged camaraderie, if you want to call it that. But something kind of just hit not too long ago with Mr. Reeves, right? Keanu Reeves, guys, not only is a well-successed celebrity, but what he does on his own personal leisure, his time, is quite fascinating. Now, this man, you know, a lot of people don't realize, you know, where he came through, right? He scratched through life, okay? And I'm not going to bash him for it because there's nothing wrong with it. At one time, this guy was, you know, he was homeless. And look where he's at now. So this latest story here with Keanu Reeves, literally donating 70% of his Matrix salary. Yeah, the latest Matrix movie that hit, I believe it was HBO Max and basically theaters all over the nation, which rose success over the weekend, this past weekend and the weekend prior to that. Huge amounts of money being earned through this movie, The Matrix, right? Literally donated 70% of his Matrix salary so far to help with the research of leukemia. Guys, this is pretty good stuff here, where you have a celebrity such as Keanu Reeves literally donating some of his salary to help the fight for leukemia. You know, when you're looking for evidence that not all celebrities are self-obsessed weirdos, folks, it's difficult to go past Keanu Reeves. Dead set, the proof that this, dead set, hold on guys, get some water here, because this is a really good article here. You know, dead set, the proof that he's one of the good guys is thick on the ground, because he is, folks. This is a celebrity that does more for his local communities across the nation than any other celebrity in my eyes. Literally, I mean, I've seen what this guy does. You know, for research companies such as, you know, the big fight against leukemia. He's donated a lot of his money towards homeless programs, coalitions, all that. He's a big donor for the homeless community. But you know what? Like the fact that he's donated most of his Matrix salary to leukemia research, shows a lot about this guy. He's a good guy, guys. Don't get me wrong. And with more on this story, guys, you can find this on my website, the PatriotAnglePodcast.com. Again, PatriotAnglePodcast.com. It's the full story on Keanu Reeves and everything else will be on that website. Basically, laid out the entire story on this, which I thought was fascinating, where you have a celebrity such as Keanu Reeves literally going above and beyond the fight against leukemia. That's great. I wish more, not only more celebrities, but more people would donate towards charities and programs such as that. That shows a lot, guys. A lot. And you know what I would like to say? That it's okay, though, in a world of entitled celebrities who think the world owes them and who feel like they can do whatever the hell they please, you find a celebrity such as Keanu Reeves that doesn't think like that. He doesn't have a mindset like that, guys. So let's always, it's very important, guys, let's always remember that Keanu Reeves is not one of those entitled, I think the world revolves around me type of celebrity, because he does a lot, folks. Does a lot. Does a lot, guys. I got a lot more here to say on this story here. I want to take a quick break, guys, because I want to talk more about this Keanu Reeves story, which I think deserves to be plugged into my podcast. Like I said, a lot of shows aren't really talking about this, and I think it needs to be talked about, because you got a celebrity that does a lot for his community and deserves to be credited. Be right back, guys, after these words. Don't go anywhere.
Patriot Unfiltered Raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast on demand.
What does it feel like to sell your car to Carvana? It feels amazing. You get a great offer in seconds. It feels too good to be true. It's kicking back and relaxing as we pick up your car. And when you get paid on the spot, it feels like scoring big. You know the feeling. You just never imagined you could get it from selling your car. Well, with Carvana, you can. Experience the new way to sell a car.
It is impossible to not have one hater at the very least, but the phrase "you cannot please everyone" is proven wrong by the one and only.
Hi, I'm Keanu Reeves. I'm here with BuzzFeed to play with some puppies.
Keanu has been dubbed as the nicest guy in Hollywood.
Well, there's no obvious outward displays of wealth from him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's insanely wealthy.
Yeah.
But when you see him, he's dressed like me.
Yeah.
He's got like a regular watch on and sneakers. He's normal as man.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
What you're seeing now is Keanu riding a public subway, and after a while you will see him give up his seat for the woman who is standing. He has no idea he's being recorded. And this is just one of the many. Sometimes you will see him talking and sharing a meal with a homeless person. Other times you will see him entertaining people who have been stranded from a flight.
You were the nicest guy in the world. Why did you
That's
just...
ridiculous.
Well,
And on top of all of that, Keanu reportedly gave away almost all of his Matrix earnings to the special effects team. Hiya, it seems like 78% of you are not subscribed yet. I would really...
All right, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Sorry, I just took a little kind of stole that video a little bit. I do apologize, but I do believe it was deserved to be plugged into today's show. I want to give credit to those that made that video. My credit to you, Project Nightfall. Thank you for making that video. But, you know, guys, this is... he's also a human, guys. The person we're talking today about is actor and celebrity Keanu Reeves. All right? Like I said, a man that is not mentioned a lot anywhere. I mean, you heard through the video here that I plugged into today's show that this man does a lot for the homeless community. You know, he's donating his salary, you know, from different types of movies he's done. But he's also a human, guys. Just because he's an actor or a celebrity doesn't mean he cannot have his own right to live his way. This is what the man wants to do. This is what the man wants to do. If he wants to contribute to society, let him contribute to society. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of you know, criticism. You know, like, why do you donate 70% over half of his salary, you know, to organizations and different types of programs across the country? But that's his choice, folks, because he feels that's right. And that's what gets to my next point, guys. Why, as a society, have we become so embraced that we have to literally explain ourselves to every single person out there? First of all, do you remember the words, maybe your grandparents said it or your parents said it back in the day when you were a little boy or a little girl, that it's none of your damn business. It's no one's business on how you want to live your life. The way you live your life is the way you choose to live your life. And a person like Keanu Reeves is really a person to get inspiration from. Seriously. Because, I mean, the man has been through it all. I mean, I remember reading a story about this guy, Keanu Reeves. And he had to inch and crawl and fight to get to where he's at now in life. I mean, the man was once homeless himself. So, to do all the things he does now as a celebrity, as an actor, that shows a lot. Not only for his community, but for the people he enlightens with every single day. That shows a lot, folks. A lot. Now, the story here I want to plug in is when he was on The Late Show. Okay, there's actually two. What should I do first? Because folks, I think this is really, really, it deserves a lot, because it shows, you know, not only what we've become as a society, which as a society we've become, like, you know, there's a bunch of nut jobs out there, right? I mean, I don't know what the words, how to explain it, you know, but it's great that we still have people such as Keanu Reeves and others. It mainly uses in his name, for example, because he does a lot. There's two shows he was on that basically explains, you know, why we need to give a little more here in today's society. The first show I want to plug in, and it's not going to be the full show, guys, but I will put in the show notes where you could find these at. You know, he was on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and then he was also on the Drew Barrymore show about a couple weeks ago, just basically giving his story, you know. But here's the first one here on basically decoding not only his life, but decoding society and how sad our society has become. Check this out, guys. This is Keanu Reeves on the on the Stephen Colbert Show. Like I said, this was about a couple weeks ago, guys. You want to check this out.
Yes.
You were friends. I so much want to help you. What am I going to do?
What are you doing?
What am I going to do? You know I love you, by which I mean hate you.
That's kind of, yeah, it's a thin line, isn't it?
Between love and hate?
Yeah.
So I've read.
So I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, I would love to.
Now, you recently have added a new credit to your name. You are now a comic book creator. Tell me about Berserker.
Yeah, man, thanks for asking. This comic book, you're holding volume 1, which is the first 4 issues of the first arc of a 12-issue series called Berserker. And it's about a character that was born 80,000 years ago, who's half human and half a god, and who's kind of cursed with the compulsion to violence.
And there is a very interesting one frame in here, which everyone is saying is a reference to you. You know what it is.
Oh, that one.
So we all are familiar. We're all familiar with sad.
I'm just eating a sandwich.
Sad Keanu.
Man.
Sad Keanu right there.
Man,
this is a frame of Berserker from.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
So you're not actually sad in Sad Keanu?
I was thinking. I had some stuff going on.
Sure.
I was hungry. So, yeah, life and art. So, that similarity. So, Ron Garney is the amazing artist.
Wow, guys. I mean, like I said, I'm doing a whole show about Keanu Reeves here today, which I do believe that deserves a lot. You know, this is a man that came basically from nothing in life, and look where he's at now. Through hard work, success, and grinding pretty much in life, you can get anywhere in life. And his story should be an inspiration to others out there. Now, this is Keanu Reeves on the Drew Barrymore show about 3 weeks ago. Like I said, this guy goes all over the place. Check this out, guys.
Anniversary of that obscure masterpiece, Babes in Toyland.
Sometimes obscurity's good, but there was a good heart in that piece.
We had so much fun making it.
It was crazy. And Richard Mulligan, Jill Sholin,
Pat Morita,
Googie Grass.
I'm just looking back at, from 1986 until now, we have both had the privilege and fortune to keep going.
Yeah.
And what a gift and a blessing that is.
Yeah.
You're someone
thanks.
I think of, too, as being so incredibly gracious about it. And I definitely feel like I would look around and see the behaviors of the people that I wanted to be like one day, and they were always the kind, humble, gracious, hardworking, lovely examples.
Yeah.
You are so that.
No, it's kind of you to say that. I mean, I love what I do, right? I mean, I love acting. I like rolling up the sleeves. I like going to work, and it is what it is, man. We ain't doctors saving lives, But we can change lives. We can help,
Can I take it back to a memory that I have with you? I was at this club, and it was my 16th birthday, and you came in. This is the memory I have of it. If you have anything to add or change, please let me know. And you walked in, and you grabbed my hand, and you took me outside, and you put me on your motorcycle.
Oh, my.
And we drove at the warp speed of my life.
Or something like
we
that?
went, and you took me on the ride of my life, and I was so free. I was such a free human being. And it was just this moment where I just remember loving life and being so happy. And I hold it so dear because the older we get, the harder it is to get to that feeling.
Yeah. I wonder where I took you. Where?
All right, guys. Wow, what a story that was. Drew Barrymore pretty much remembering taking a teenage Drew when she was younger, for a birthday motorcycle joyride. I guess this guy inspires everybody. And such a story, guys. You can check that out on the full video of that of the Drew Barrymore show. Like I said, that was about 3 weeks ago when she had Keanu Reeves on her show. They were mentioning, I guess the friendship between the two of them, dating back all the way back until when Drew Barrymore was a teenager. Then they also talked about Keanu Reeves' latest movie, Matrix Resurrections, which is out everywhere, guys. You can check it out on HBO Max, and basically it's still in theaters everywhere, which is doing phenomenal in the box office. I'm being told, but folks, this guy literally is one of a kind. How he can go through the things he has said and been through and still be one of the most kindest, down-to-earth actors out there. Literally. Like, you don't see many actors doing the things, or actresses doing the things that this guy does. That's why he's so down-to-earth. Especially his involvement with the communities that he shares his interest in. I mean, there's so much gratitude that this guy deserves. I mean, and I want to put on a side note here, guys, of just how we've become as a society, where we're going as a society, which I touch a lot on this podcast, that our society has been poisoned by negative vibes across the board, whether it's mainstream media, social media, even political figures, right? Our society has been poisoned so much where we allow ourselves to be manipulated, brainwashed, and sometimes our voices to be silenced. In closing, guys, what I'm trying to say here is that we have to become a more healthier society. And what I mean by a more healthier society is that we need to allow ourselves to be less judged and to live life more freely. What you're seeing right now in the society is nothing like that. Nothing like that one so bit. So in closing, guys, let's try to love each other more. Let's cut the negative comments out and just be ourselves and live the life we choose to live without any criticism. And my friends, that's the life I think everybody would love to live in. With that being said, guys, thank you for joining us today on the podcast. I hope something in this episode has taught you something, or you learned something from this episode. If you ever want to listen to any of the past episodes, you can do it in so many different ways. If you're a Google type of person, you can go on Google and search the Patriot Angle Podcasts, as well as our Apple Podcasts. We're on Apple, as well as Spotify. Got a big following on Spotify. You want to check us out on Spotify? Our past and current episodes are posted on all three of those platforms, Spotify, Google, and Apple, as well as our website, patriotanglepodcast.com. On the top, you'll see where it says episodes. Click episodes, and it'll bring you right to the different types of links. And then also, too, on our website, the patriotanglepodcast.com, is a lot of our content that we constantly post on that website. as well as our Facebook group page, Patriot Unfiltered Nation. You can join our group page there, as well as our Facebook page, Patriot Angle Podcast, and our Instagram page, Patriot_Angle_Unfiltered. With that being said, guys, I'm your host, Mike, and we hope to see you on the next one.
You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle Podcast, an Anchor platform.